What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Off the Gridiron, your Apollo HOU Houston Texans podcast. My name's Noah Outlaw. I am one of your hosts, as always, and as always, I'm here with Garrett Harrelson. What's up, brother?
What's going on, my man? How are you doing today?
Dude, I'm doing phenomenal. Coming off a Texans win that I really wasn't able to watch because I was in Vegas at a wedding.
Yes.
You know,
Which
it was
beautiful.
Yeah,
ceremony was beautiful.
It's amazing. It was an amazing wedding, but it was that like very classic like meme about how like I wouldn't even go to my own wedding on like Texas OU weekend, and like and just like the whole slate was like you always see those people saying like, oh man, no weddings in October, college football. I was there and it was a great time, and it was beautiful, and I had the best time, but I wasn't able to watch much college football and the Texans game, which was a bummer. But you were able to watch it. And the Texans took down the Patriots.
Yeah, and obviously we weren't able to record. We weren't, it wasn't like we had to predict the big Patriots matchup. Like, no, we
right.
Win. We went in the game very confident. You didn't get to really watch it that much. I did. I mean, it was to briefly summarize it. Yeah, we kind of kicked the shit out of them. The Drake May stuff, like, he threw all over us. Yeah, no, he had a good debut, but it was also when they were down, 2.5 scores or something, like 3 scores. So there was a lot of good that came from that game. Run game was great. We'll quickly do Alto drive of the week. I know you weren't watching, but that first drive of the game really set the tone for the rest of the game. 11 plays, 65 yards. And it took off 5 minutes and 47 seconds off the clock.
Wow.
So we just drove down the field, a few runs, a few first down conversions. Tank Dell caught a big 20-yard pass. Stephon Diggs had 2 receptions for like 24 yards on that drive. And then it ended with a 2-yard touchdown catch from Tank Dell on the goal line, little play action. So that's your Alto drive of the week. It was a great drive. It set the tone for the rest of the game.
It seems like everyone was getting involved. Yeah, everyone was getting involved, getting targets. Joe Mixon getting some carries. Kind of what we want to see from this Texans offense on every drive going forward. So that makes for a perfect Alto drive of the week.
Absolutely, yeah. You got Dalton Schultz involved. You got Diggs and Tank mixed in with no Nico, obviously. So
yeah,
great drive.
Absolutely, love it. Thank you so much. Also, all right, guys. Well, yeah, like I said, the Patriots game has come and gone. Like I said, I didn't get to watch most of it. I know what happened. Texans were pretty dominant. Eric Murray interception. Kalen Bullock got his second interception of the year. Will Anderson with 3 sacks. I think Daniil had 1 sack.
I believe so. It was a flying. It was a flying.
He loves that
cat.
flying.
It was a jungle cat sack. He just like jumped on his back and he left his feet. He left his feet on that leap. So.
Poor Drake
Daniil
May.
Hunter is a predator. He's a predator out there.
Yes, he is. Warn every other NFL quarterback about his presence, because Drake May, who didn't have a bad day. And obviously, we'll get into the Packers game, but Drake May did not have a bad day at all. Actually, an incredible debut. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He had more passing yards than C.J. Stroud did in that game.
He had some great throws, and he kept his composure. A good rookie debut, like a lot better than I thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
He did make his occasional mistakes, but I think that's really on our defense that were able to make those plays and, got the turnovers. I think they had 2 fumbles.
Yeah,
2 interceptions for 4 takeaways for our defense.
Yeah.
And Will Anderson won AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Shout out. Was dominant, just all over the field, all over Drake May. 3 sacks, a bunch of pressures. That tipped pass that was Eric Murray's interception.
Which was a crazy interception. I still don't know how it happened.
I don't know how he did it. He was just kind of like, he caught it. It was like a David Tyree catch. He caught it on his helmet.
Yeah.
And went down to the ground and corralled it. So
it was
that
crazy.
was sick. That was cool.
So obviously a game that we expected to win. We went in, we took care of business. The defense was making huge plays all day. And then but then they were allowing some shit. And that's kind of what I want to go into, talk about going into this Packers preview is, look, I love what I see from the Texans defense, right? But I don't want Drake May to be able to throw 3 touchdowns and for 230 yards or whatnot. I don't want that, especially going into a game against the Packers, which is, some could argue, some said maybe this was the Bills, but really, I think the Packers is the biggest test for this Texans team so far this season.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, the Bills obviously they have a few shortcomings that kind of were exposed, playing against us, and we
Yeah,
didn't know at that time. They needed that number one receiver. They finally got him with Amari
yeah,
Cooper.
they got him. Yeah,
The Packers are kind of the complete. They're the whole shebang.
yeah,
They kind of have everything. They got Jordan Love, who's great coaching, good
hmm
offensive line, good run game. The defense is really good. Playmakers, I think they have like 17 total takeaways this season, and they're one of the best run defenses in the
yeah,
league.
yeah.
They're kind of the whole thing.
They
They
are.
really haven't have any weaknesses,
hmm
honestly.
Yeah, I mean, going into this season, Texans Packers was a really popular Super Bowl pick, like a Super Bowl matchup pick was Texans Packers. So yeah, honestly, this could be somewhat of a Super Bowl preview in a way. And both of these teams have had their ups and downs this season. Obviously, the Texans are 5-1. I would say our downs are they're not as low as the Packers have been. Obviously, losing Jordan Love for a couple of weeks and him really narrowly escaping a pretty bad season-ending injury. Luckily, he was all
Yeah,
right. Malik Willis had to start a couple games, and now he's back and he's rolling. I mean, his stats on the year, you wouldn't know he missed a couple games. His
yeah,
numbers look great. And so both of the teams kind of are kind of taking some time to get where they want to be. But I mean, Texans are 5-1, Packers are 4-2, I believe. And both these teams are really rolling at the moment. So it's going to be probably the best matchup this week on the slate, especially for the noon games, which I can't believe this is a
oh
noon
my
game.
god. The NFL every season, it kind of seems like the beginning of the season, first half. I was talking to Dez about this off camera. My theory is they appease those big market teams. Like last week's Sunday Night Football was Bengals and Giants. Why
Yeah.
the fuck were they on?
Yeah.
Why were they on Sunday Night Football? Like, why
Yeah.
are they on prime time? You have to appease those markets, though, I
Yeah.
guess, and put them so early in the season that it's too early to flex out.
hmm
Like, obviously, down the line, if the Giants were 2-9, it's like, well, they can't play this game. No
Yeah.
one's going to care. But
Yeah.
the 2-4 Giants, the 2-3 Giants, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
they'll do
Throw them in
that.
there.
They'll
Yeah.
do that.
They're at almost 500. Yeah.
And then Daniel Jones is just he takes a big shit on the field. Like that's the performance that we get, and
It's
then that's what we
terrible.
watch.
Just
That's my
awful.
theory. And like the Sunday Night Football game this week, it's not good. It's Jets and Steelers. This should have been flexed to prime time. This had to have been flexed to prime time.
Yeah. This would have been
But
later in
we
the
got
season.
we do get Jim Nance and Tony Romo, which is cool.
That's great. You know what? And that's okay with me.
We'll
You
take
know.
those. It's a win for sure. We take
Mhm.
those.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be a fun game. And also, I know we like the primetime games and stuff like that, but there's also something really special about a 1 p.m. start or noon start.
Nice.
They're really,
Nice.
it's nice. You know, it gets early. You don't have to wait all day. You know, you just wake up, get your coffee, set your lineups, kill a little bit of time, and then it's time to you're ready to roll. And
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, no, I mean it's. I will say the waiting part, anxiety inducing, like waiting all night because I waited
Yeah.
all day for a Sunday night.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. That's what
Mhm.
our asses would
No,
be
before
doing.
that Bears game, I was stressing.
Oh my
buddy.
god! Well, even though I wasn't scared of the Bears, but I was like, what do I have to wait all day?
Yeah, I
for
know.
this? Holy
But
shit.
still, I was like, it's only week 2. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, maybe, I didn't know. But so it's like that anxiety
It
all
was
day.
like, what if Pete Williams just goes the fuck off? You know, it was
Exactly. Exactly. But no, so we got a noon game. We got Jim Nance, Tony Romo in the booth. Gonna love to hear that. Jim Nance, Houston legend. So
Yes.
that'll be nice. He'll probably be glazing the Texans as he should. But the Texans come into this game as underdogs. They are plus 130 to win at the money lines in Vegas. The Packers are, I don't really know. I guess maybe one.
I think I'm gonna guess. I think the Packers are -3 favorites. I believe.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Or the-
Maybe not even that. Maybe -1.
-2.5.
-2.5.
-2.5.
Yes.
So the spread is -2.5 for Green Bay. I mean that seems appropriate because the Texans, even though their record shows that they have been dominant, they haven't been completely dominant. There's still a lot of growth. We talk about it a lot. Even against the Patriots, there were some times where I was like, why are we letting them drive? Why aren't we able to drive? We're not able to capitalize on this turnover. That sucks. There's still a lot of growth for sure to be done. And, without Nico Collins, this offense will look interesting. Will look interesting because the Packers defense is nothing. It's so slouch. It's not, that group is not a slouch group.
No, the Packers are an incredibly complete team, and they, obviously the addition of Josh Jacobs has worked out extremely well for them so far. I mean, he's got 464 yards I'm looking at here. One touchdown, though, which is interesting to note, but he's not punching it in too much, but he's getting them into the red zone for Jordan Love to throw 12 fucking touchdowns. And 12 touchdowns after missing 2 games this year.
He's slinging it.
That's incredible. He's had 6 interceptions, which is something to note. But so obviously this Packers team is humming, and so is this Texans team. 5-1, the second best record in the league behind the 2 undefeated teams and the Chiefs and the Vikings. So look, the Texans can win this game. I feel like we're kind of talking about the Packers a lot and how good they are. The Texans are incredible too, but it's going to be a really tough test for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this game has lots of potential to become a shootout. And the Texans can win in a shootout. We just need to CJ needs to dial in, which, of course, CJ always dials in.
Yeah.
The whole team needs to really dial in. I'm not sure I know you have the injury report, and you might be looking at it right now.
I'll pull it up. Yeah.
Laramie started practicing. Titus, I know Titus missed last week.
Yeah.
Patriots,
Titus, I don't believe is practicing. Mixon is practicing, which is a good sign. Tunsil's practicing. And that's pretty much it for who's practicing on the injury report. The injury report's not looking too hot. Aziz Al-Shair's not practicing. Foley Fatukasi not practicing. Henry To'oTo'o not practicing. And Kamari Lassiter's not practicing. There is a real world scenario where our starting linebackers are Jake Hansen and Neville Hewitt.
And I like Neville Hewitt. I like Neville.
Yeah.
I like Jake. Yeah, let's go. I mean, I think Aziz and we'll have tomorrow as well. We're day of recording Thursday, October 17th. The Friday's report will tell us everything that we need to know. If To'oTo'o and Aziz still aren't practicing, then they probably will miss, and that sucks because they've been great together. But hey, man, this team is built on next man up mentality.
Yeah,
we got guys coming up all the time. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to note and to watch going forward.
Yeah.
But the Texans can win in a shootout. I believe they can. Our defense doesn't look too hot right now. We kind of crumble in some situations. That bend don't break defense sometimes be breaking, sometimes be bending a lot. Yeah. Jordan Love has the opportunity to do that, but CJ can do it right back.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. And we've been so worried about a lot of people are mentioning Nico Collins' absence. And it's a big loss. I mean, Nico Collins, after not playing last week and only playing a half the week before, is still leading the league in receiving yards.
Which is crazy. Which is nuts.
He's beating, I believe, Jamar Chase by like 50 yards or something crazy. Like that's how incredible Nico. So of course it's a big loss. But we're still going into this game with Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs as our main 2 receivers.
Yeah.
There are 31 other teams in this league that would kill for those guys. So CJ, I'm not too worried about that. Stephon can absolutely step up into that number 1 role, and we've seen Tank Dell thrive in the number 2 receiver spot. So that's fine. I'm not super worried about that. But I know CJ, and I know this offense can work, especially with Joe Mixon in the mix. With Mixon playing and with Mixon healthy, we saw what he did last week. We saw what he did week 1. Like, he's been incredible whenever he's available. And so if the run game's going, that obviously opens up, the pass game for Tank and Stephon and Schultz and Gott and whoever else is lining up. So I'm not too worried. My main worry is on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and we'll kind of get in some X factors quickly. One X factor that I have is Danielle Hunter. Will Anderson, really, there's a lot to say about him. Too much to say about him. He's incredible. Danielle Hunter is on the other side. As soon as he starts, producing a little bit more, we can see him produce a little bit more. I've seen him do it a lot.
Yeah.
He had 17 and a half sacks last year.
Yeah.
As soon as we start seeing him produce a little bit more and get after the quarterback a little bit more, then it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for the other pass rushers. And we're getting Danico Autry back. We're getting Danico Autry back this week, and he's ready to go. He's not on the injury report. He's a plug and play guy. He's ready to go. So it's going to give those. If Danielle Hunter is screaming around the edge with Will Anderson, that's huge. That's huge because also I was looking at numbers posted by Brett Coleman earlier. Jordan Love's numbers against the blitz, not very good. If he's getting pressured, he's not very good. So Danielle Hunter is my first X factor because Will obviously AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Need Danielle to kind of just come match him. Match his intensity, match his production. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and so you sent me that stat about Jordan Love under the blitz, which is very interesting. And obviously, D'Amico and everyone has that same information. So I hope that they're taking notes. And the Texans haven't been a blitz heavy defense this season. We're 19th in the in blitzing, and which is fine. It's obviously working, and like our buddy of ours mentioned earlier, it's like, look, you don't really have to blitz too much whenever you have Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter because they make 2 or 3 guys feel like 7. So you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just, you don't really have to do that. But against Jordan Love, I would really love it if let's bring those numbers up. Let's make him feel that presence. Let's make him feel like 11 guys are coming down his throat. Excuse me. Wow, that was crazy.
Wow, that's the biggest pause I've ever heard in my life. Oh, man. I'm sorry, Alto. I'm sorry, Big City Wings. That's a clip, dude.
Oh, dude, that's funny. Yeah, well, it's true. I want him to feel like that. I want him to feel God. I want him to feel like it's the worst day of his life back there. Yeah. Yeah. But God damn it. All right. But that's true. I want him to feel like he can't get anything done back there. And I just want him on his back the whole time. And
really, what are we talking about the same thing?
I want him to have no time to get shit done. Let's say that. Okay. And I think that's key. And I think that Miko understands this, and I think he will. But it's difficult though, because look, Kamari Lassiter is not going to be playing. So it's going to be D'Angelo Ross, most likely starting at corner at CB2. But last week he held his own against the Patriots, and that's great. I mean, I think he allowed maybe eight yards and 1 catch, which is great. But this is a different type of offense. This is not the Patriots offense.
Yeah, this offense is Matt LaFleur is a genius. Last week they blew up the Cardinals, and the Cardinals aren't terrible. They're not bad, but Jordan Love had 4 touchdowns against the Cardinals last week. It's like, all right, he is balling. He is balling out, and it's really like a huge attribute to LaFleur's offense and what they have going on. They're killing it with Jordan Love and a bunch of receivers that I'm like, we kind of went in the last season saying, well, they don't have any receivers. Really, no receivers. Now you look at the receivers, they're like, they have a bunch of receivers.
Well,
they have a bunch of guys that can perform, man.
Yeah, so, I saw Mina Kimes talk about this actually on ESPN, and she did bring up a great point. She was saying how, look, the Packers don't have that number 1 guy. They have a bunch of dudes, bunch of Jordan Love's buddies, basically, and that makes it harder. I think that's going to make it harder on the defense because we're on Texans defense because we don't know who to focus on.
Yeah, we don't know who to highlight. We don't know who to highlight. Is Romeo Dobbs going to be getting a lot of snaps? Is Christian Watson going to be getting a lot of targets? Is Dontavian Wicks going to be a sneaky guy that going to have 100 yards? You don't know. So it's definitely a challenge. I know that we're up to the challenge though. Miko and this defense. This is a special. He said it in a press conference the other day. Jordan Love is the best QB that we have faced up until this point of the season. They've highlighted this game. They've circled it on the calendar. So we'll see. We might even see some blitz packages and some defensive formations we haven't seen yet this season.
I think so. Yeah,
the intensity is going to have to be there. The intensity is going to have to be there for sure.
Yeah, I also, I want to throw an X factor in, and I want to make it Danico Autry. I mean, look, we lost Mario Edwards to a suspension, right? And so that's a hit to the D line right there. So obviously, right in time, we get Autry back, which is incredible because Danico Autry, I feel like is a little bit understated about how good he is. I saw a stat earlier. Danico, there are only 19 players in the NFL in the last 3 years to have more sacks than Danico Autry. 19 players. Dude, Danico Autry is not a schlup. Danico Autry is a damn good player, and the Texans paid him a lot of money. The Texans paid him a good chunk of change, so they expect a lot out of him. They know what he can do, and Caserio is quoted. He called him a badass motherfucker. That's what he's a dog.
Yeah, no, and if you look at the defensive tackles that have played, who also I believe Kurt Hinish is back. Shout out
Kurt.
Let's go. But the defensive tackles and those tackles that have played for us thus far have done a great job. Mario Fatukasi, like they've all done a very Tim Settle Jr. They've done really well. Danico's better than all those guys. Autry's better than all of them. So we're just upgrading at defensive tackle. This game, which is huge. I think you're right. It's completely understated. It's not talked about enough. Danico Autry, a lot of people don't even know, he's going to be back this week. Yeah. Danico's back. And a guy who has had only 19 other guys have more sacks in the last few years.
Yeah.
Back in our team with, these crazy pass rushers who are white hot right now. So yeah, X Factor him. Put a big old X over him. Like if he has a good game, like we can shut down the run and then, put a lot of pressure on Jordan Love.
Yeah. Let's pick an offensive X factor too, Garrett. Is there a guy on the offense? Schultz. Dalton Schultz? That's who I was going to say as well.
Where's Dalton Schultz?
Yeah.
Where's Dalton?
Mm-hmm.
Don't care. Where's Dalton?
Yeah.
I've given him a lot of grief this season.
You have.
Given him a lot of grief. I like Dalton a lot. I was so happy when we signed him last year. So I was, when they bought me back in when they signed him this offseason, because CJ was he's like, we're best friends, and he's so good. I was like, okay, all right, you got me, you bought me. He has not been playing up to his contract so far, and now you have Nico out, and Stephon and Tank. They kind of came alive last week. Each had a touchdown, each had respectively good games. For each other.
Yeah,
Dalton needs to step up, man. Dalton needs to be a guy over the middle that's like a beat. He just plays kind of soft. He dropped a touchdown. He dropped 3 passes last week.
I know.
Just can't
do that.
Just can't do that. If you're gonna be the $36 million guy that we invested in, you need to be able to catch that touchdown seam over the middle. That's perfectly placed. Don't let it bounce off your hands and Marcus Jones picks it off. Come on, you need to do better. So I am putting a big old X over his head, and I'm saying if Dalton Schultz has a good game, it's more likely we win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because he is a mismatch for them. If we can put him in certain formations and plays, we can get him open, and he could be a guy. He can be a big reception machine this game. Yeah. So big X over him.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say the same thing. Really looking for Dalton, and because like you mentioned, man, I've been trying to defend him. He's been really good in the run game. He's been a good blocker this year. I know his offensive statistic numbers haven't been what we were hoping they would be, but you're right. I mean, after last week's New England game, that Marcus Jones interception, it was just like, what are you doing? Because we know he's better than that, and it's not like he's getting old or he's washed, because we saw what he did last year, much better. That's a touchdown last year. I'm going
to cut you off real quick. I believe it's about to get really loud in here.
Okay. Well, we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up soon. But the thing is, I agree. As long as Dalton Schultz, our tight end number 1, is playing like one of the highest paid tight ends in the league, then we should win this game. Like, we absolutely should.
I agree. And that's, Dalton Schultz shows up. CJ gets his best friend Blake, safety blanket going.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do it, man. Let's get some score predictions in here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hate to be a bummer. You
were a bummer last against the Bills.
Yeah, and we
won.
We almost didn't. So it was like, damn, don't do that again.
We dominated them, and we dominated them.
I feel like we didn't dominate them as much.
We dominated Josh Allen.
I think the Packers win, man. I think they're a good team. It's really also comes down to home field advantage. You know, it's in Green Bay.
It's in
the fans will be
Lambeau.
rocking. It's a big matchup for them. It's not a get right game for them, but it is like a test for them as well.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be looking to beat the shit out of us. I don't think they will beat the shit out of us. I think it'll be a shootout. But I'm gonna say the final score will be 28-26 Texans cover. At least, hey, great teams cover. Texans will cover. So 28-26, but we lose.
All right. I like it. I mean, I don't like it, but I like it. I'm going to say final score 35-31 Texans. I think it's going to be a lot of scoring and it'll be high scoring. It's going to be a shootout. And I think we get like a CJ Stroud legacy drive similar to the Tampa Bay game last year.
Perhaps next week's Alto drive of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we get a Tampa Bay Buccaneers CJ Stroud type drive to win the game this week, and then really just kicking off the rest of the season. Like kicking off, like, okay, this Texans team is for real. We moved to 6-1, and there's not a single team in the NFL who wants to play us. I think that's what comes out of this week.
Well, I hope I'm stupid and you are smart because
Yes.
I want that to happen. Not what I said.
Yeah, I don't. You know, I respect it because it is going to be hard. I'm very nervous, but I'm going to be positive and really.
Yeah, it's just big game, man. I'm gonna have to take my lucky whiskey shot right before.
You better do it. Yeah, you got to do it.
You know, and do you know where I'm gonna do it at? I'm gonna do it at Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. I'm gonna take a shot of whale whiskey, which a lot of you probably shouldn't do that before noon, you know, but I do it as for good luck. You can also drink beer, eat delicious appetizers, eat crispy, juicy wings with your buddies, with great service and football all around you. It doesn't even have to be the Texans. It could be whatever team you want to watch. It could be baseball if it's going on that day. So going down to Big City Wings, once again, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Thank you, Big City Wings, for powering this episode of Off the Gridiron.
Thank you so much, Big City Wings, guys. If you haven't already, please leave a like and subscribe. Let us know you like what we're doing. Leave a comment down below. Score prediction, touchdown predictions, who's getting a pick, who's getting multiple sacks. Let us know in the comments below. Really love to hear what y'all have to say. Follow us on Twitter at Apollo Texans and Apollo HOU and Apollo HOU on all the social medias to keep up with Houston sports and obviously your Houston Texans. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.
Watch Texans. Go Texans. See you.